Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. If you're brand new to Conquest, here are my top 3 tips to help you get off to a fast start. I call this setting the stage. Tip number 1, let's get your advisor settings in place. If you're at the home page, go to the upper right corner and you'd want to go into settings, and this is where you can enter your advisor details with your profile. You want to add your headshot in there as well, so you can remove, and I'll show you how we can upload a picture. I've got one lined up here, and we can do some refinements. So that's how you add in your headshot. It always looks great on a client PDF report, so I highly recommend doing that. Here's a little section where you can type in a little bit about yourself. Could be a personal bio. Down below is your company settings or firm settings. If you have a firm logo, I highly recommend you upload it. As you can see there, I've got mine in place already. And then your company information and contact details right here. As you scroll down in the section, there's some additional details you can update, but I recommend you leave the default settings alone as you get started. But over time, you can refine these and make updates, or on a per plan basis in each plan, you can make some adjustments. But for now, keep all those settings to the default. And down below, we've got some additional advisor profiles. This is where you can add custom profiles in here for asset allocation and investment solution profiles. And then down here, we've got some other preferences, but we're going to leave those alone for now. So that's tip number 1. Get your advisor details set up and in place for the client PDF reports. The second, tip number 2, I have to get into a sample client scenario to show you what that looks like. And I recommend going to the planning tab up here. And as you've entered in your client's data, their financial information and their goals, you transition naturally to the planning tab up above. And I recommend you get your analysis window here with key reports lined up. Now, a lot of people struggle with what are my favorite reports, or what reports are available? There are a million reports in here. So to get off to a fast start again, here are some favorites that a lot of people like. Retirement Paycheque, I highly recommend. Retirement Inflows and Outflows. Estate Projection. Income Summary Projection, and Stacked Net Worth. I'm going to show you how you can add in additional tabs for further customization by hitting the Add Tab or plus button here. And I'm going to add in the Estate Summary Report, and we'll do a quick search for that. It's a bit slow. There we go. There's the estate summary report. We can see net estate after tax in this scenario, $6 million. And just showing you that pulls from the legacy goal there that I've set, so we can reference that. So these are some key reports to set you up for a quick viewing, and these become really important as you present plans to clients through a screen share. You're going to want to ensure you have your favorite reports lined up in the center here. One thing to note with this analysis window is you want to have your favorite report. You can left click and drag across the retirement paycheck, for example. So this is my go-to report that I like to have teed up in my planning tab up here. So if I do navigate away and go back to the client overview section and back to planning, whichever tab you have here on the far left, that's the first report that's always going to load. Once you set it, you can almost forget it, because if you go into a new plan, a different scenario, the software is going to remember your preferences. So these reports, these tabs should be in place for every plan you go into moving forward. Okay. You'll notice the real estate in this section, it's kind of small. It takes up maybe about 25–30% of the overall screen. Just note you can always go up here to the audit reports, either here or here, and we can open up and we can see a full screen of your favorite reports as well. So retirement paycheck, for example, you can see I've got a lot more room here to play with and take a look at some things. So you want to keep that in mind as you work through, your planning work and screen shares with clients. If you want something a little larger, that is always a best practice. Go to your audit reports. Another thing to note, remember these reports are very interactive. You can left click on them. You can drill down and get some more details on these reports. You can also use the panel options, and you can convert from a chart to a table. Some people who are a little more analytical want to see the actual numbers, so we can revert back and forth. It's very friendly depending on your audience or your clients you're dealing with and your preferences as well as an advisor. So you want to keep that in mind. With most reports, you do have an option to flip over. Like in this example, I don't have that option. It's only available as a table, but in other ones, we can simply flip over to table and chart and set your preferences that way. Now, also, another thing quickly to note about these reports is you can always download a PDF or a CSV one-pager, depending on the configuration. So you don't have to generate a full client report. You can just do a simple one-pager by going to the PDF down here. That's tip number 2. Tip number 3, the final one today in this session, is with regards to how would you like to plan. You can set your planning preferences here. So the first time you come in here, it'll always ask you, how would you like to plan? I recommend using expert planning mode to get yourself started. So put the little check mark here, take it out, and go into expert planning mode. And that way, if you go into any new plan or other plans, it'll always default to your favorite planning preference, which is expert planning mode. The benefits of this mode is that it's a more controlled approach. As you can see here, I can scroll down and look through over 50 of the most common, most popular, and applicable strategies for my client scenario. And I can simply click on them, apply them, they move to the right, and I can look at the details, whether I want to implement it or not. I can enable it or disable it, and I can delete it altogether. So it's a very much a nice controlled approach as you get started, as you build awareness and your comfort level with the software. You're going to want to use expert planning mode for that. And as time progresses, you can flip over to other planning modes. You can flip back to step-by-step or automated, as it's referred to as. And maybe I'll reserve that for another session, but expert planning mode is probably most people's favorite planning mode to use as you get started. So the next step is to just get in there, start building some plans. In my general observations of working with advisors and training advisors using Conquest, migrating to Conquest from other types of software, is you want to get to 10 plans as quickly as possible. Then the clouds will clear. You're going to start to develop a comfort level, familiarity with navigation, workflow, generating a report, entering data, making modifications, and the likes of that. So try to get to 10 plans as quickly as possible. And then to feel more like an expert, like you have a good handle on things, you'd want to sort of roughly be at the 25 plan level, okay? Just going by my observations, training over 100 advisors, like I said, if you get to 25 plans as quickly as possible, you're going to feel a lot more confident. You're going to be considered an active user of the software, and you're going to be able to set yourself up for success and repeat your process that you're establishing in the early days. So with that, good luck with your conquesting efforts, and I wish you all the best as you get started. Thanks for watching. Please like this video, put a comment down below, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. Thanks, and have a great day.